Hello and welcome to That Man. This is another haul because yes, you haven't had enough of my hauls for this one particular month. A few months ago I did ask the question of should I start doing digital hauls as well as the physical ones, and people just said yes you should, and I thought I might as well do it because why not. So first up we have World's End Harem, because yes, it's ecchi, and a lot of these are going to be picked up on Bookwalker, because the reason being, Bookwalker did a really good sale, which was 88% coin back, which basically mean whenever you bought a manga, you basically got the same amount in coins, which means it was buy one get one free essentially. And I already had a few coins, so I've ended up buying everything on here from Bookwalker. I haven't read everything, but that means nothing because I will do them digitally. And most of these ones are titles that I dare not pick up physically, but I wanted to at least read them and see how bad they were. And this is one that I've always heard bad things about because I want to find the best in everything. But that's not going to happen. So World's End Harem. Yeah, you can tell from the front cover, it's an ecchi. Story by Link, art by Kotaro Shono. Yeah, this is a sci-fi adventure which I kind of thought was a little bit more appealing than the usual fantasy or the usual slice of life ones, about a guy who ends up with a harem at the end of the world. You can tell I've read the whole thing. But yeah, it always kept my eye. People have always warned me off it, so if the very worst, it'll be another terrible manga that I can talk about and we can be like, yeah, it's terrible. Next up is Matcha Maho. I messed up and made the wrong person into a magical girl. It's by 7Cs, as you can tell. This is a title that I've had my eye on for quite some time. It's essentially about a person who turns a punk girl into a magical girl, and it's just like one of these things where it's just like, oh, you should be pure and amazing, and it's just like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen at all. And it's pretty funny from what I read. I only read the first chapter when it was kind of on the freebie one, and I was kind of like, I want to read more of it. So I went out and got it. And I will read more of it because, again, these are titles that I feel that are going to be fun to at least cover and at least read one volume of and then just go, yep, I don't want any more of it. Next up is another one, Harem Royal. This one is kind of one where it's kind of like, it was like, I don't know anything about it. I just kind of thought it was like in the ecchi titles, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. It was absolutely free, so I was just like, I want to try to discover more stuff where I just randomly read it and then it comes up. And yeah, this is one that I'm going to go with that. It looks quite interesting from what I read of the synopsis. It's basically a guy where he ends up with a harem in a battle royale situation, and they all end up having to try and kill each other. And yeah, that's going to be interesting just to kind of see how that pans out. I'm looking forward to having it all explode on me. This is another one that I've heard a lot about, and much like Quintessential Quintuplets, the anime and manga community have been really hyping this one up, or Maidens in Your Savage Season. I absolutely know nothing about this one, but I thought, you know what, it was on Comixology and it was on Bookwalker's sale. It was reduced down to like, I think it was like $3 or something like that, so I was just like, you know what, I'm going to have to get it for that. And I'm not going to lie, it's a blind buy. I don't like doing these kind of things where it's all just blind stuff, but yeah, I want to check out more stuff, and if I go in blind and I've heard a bit of hype about it, that's completely fine with me. Next up is a light novel, and this is The Dirty Way to Destroy the Goddess's Heroes. And this one I heard a lot of people talking about and saying that the first volume it starts off quite slow, but it does get really good. It's supposed to be like a dungeon crawler one where the guy's trying to kill all of the good characters, and I thought that was a nice change. At the very worst, it's going to be another what was that horrible one called that I bought last year and I did earlier this year, and everybody was just like, it's terrible, and then people were just like, no, it's really good. How to Build a Dungeon or something, some nonsense or something like that. It was It looks a little bit more, it's a light novel as well, so it doesn't have any kind of major warnings, and it looks like it's going to be more of a kind of connoisseur thing. In fact, this guy just looks like Kazuma, where he's just like, yeah. It's telling the tale from the villain's perspective, and it looks like it's going to be another harem. It's another one I'll probably read, and I'll probably kind of find okay, but I wanted to at least pick it up. I wanted to at least pick up one light novel in the sale, and I was just like, yeah, this one looks like the one that I kind of want. The other one was Sexiled, which I kind of feel like I should be reading. It's on my list, but that one actually wasn't in the sale, so I was just like, oh yeah, if it's not on the sale, I'm not going to get it. But otherwise, yeah, it looks a lot of fun, and I'm really interested to see how it turns out. The next one is How to Treat a Lady Knight Right. That rhymes. I Won't Yield to Love. Again, this is another blind buy that Salt Press seem to be bringing out quite a few things that's kind of just going under the radar. And yeah, I was really interested in seeing how this one turns out, because I don't know, the last one I wrote about a lady knight was actually decent, the manga one, so at the very worst, it was free, so I can't really complain. And I want to kind of, like I said, I want to go into more obscure stuff. This looks like a nice, cute romance. I've heard a few things about it, that it's a rather cute one. I don't know much about it though, so again, I'm going in blind. A few people who read it said that it's really cute and really adorable, and it's a nice change of pace from the usual romance one. So yeah, How to Treat a Lady Knight Right. Fun times. Next up is one that I've actually read, and that's Animator, I think. This is one that I've heard a few people there having a little bit of buzz about, and that is about a young girl who has absolutely no talent, or very little talent, but has tons of gusto, and goes to work in an animation studio. It's basically Shirobako, only a little bit more focusing on the animator side of things, where Shirobako was kind of a little bit of everything. And if you haven't watched already, watch Shirobako, because it's an absolute fantastic series. And yeah, this is a very in-depth look into the animation side of things. This young girl ends up going into that, like trying to apply for it, and then they take her up on a kind of a whim, and it's like, well, if she drops out, she drops out, and then the harsh realities of being an animator very soon become apparent for her, including the very low pay amount and everything else, whereas like Shimonetta kind of skirted over a lot of that. Shirobako. But yeah, it was a very interesting read, and I will be picking up volume 2 as soon as I can, because yeah, in fact I would have picked it up by now, but because I had quite a few other things on, I didn't really want to just pick it up. And yeah, I really recommend it if you are interested in the animation and how animation works. It's definitely a must-be read in my opinion. And yeah, good times at all. That is it from me. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, please consider subscribing, and hopefully next time I'll be doing a video on stuff I've actually read. I've read a few of them. But yeah, if you like this, most of these were picked up on Bookwalker in their sale, so go check them out, and good times will be had by you, potentially. Thanks for coming, and thanks again for staying. Goodbye.